I'm Roby D, and today we're going to take a look at the Canon M50. We're midway through 2019. Is it still worth it? Like all things ever, it depends. This little wonder has a bunch going for it. It's tiny, but it has an APS-C size sensor inside. It's light, and the lenses that are designed for it are designed to be small, lightweight, and portable. Also, it's affordable. It's only 650 bucks with this lens. Is it right for you? Let's find out. I'm going to discuss this camera from the viewpoint of a photographer. So here are my impressions of the Canon M50. I think it handles a lot like a DSLR. I've handled other mirrorless cameras before, and it just didn't feel right. So some of the cool things about this one is the single point autofocus feels natural, easy to move. I love it. The AF tracking also is really good. And I love the ability to switch quickly between autofocus and manual focus. And manual focus has a really cool cheat mode where it shows everything that's in focus in frame with the red outline. Also, just like a DSLR, things you expect. It shoots RAW plus JPEG, but it actually shoots it at 10 frames a second, which is faster than most cameras in the price range, especially DSLRs. 10 frames a second combined with fast and capable tracking, you got a really good entry-level sports camera. Shooting something like football or baseball would be great with this camera. The EVF or electronic viewfinder and flip screen are also really solid. The EVF is a little bit too contrasting in my opinion, but the functionality is solid. The EVF is good for either shooting indoors, like if you're shooting in a studio, or it's perfect if it's really bright outside and you can't see the screen. Just putting your face to it, looking through the EVF. The flip screen works just like any other Canon flip screen that you ever used before. It's amazing, it's good, it's intuitive. You know how their menus are, the quick actions on the back. I love the flip screen on this camera. So the APS-C size sensor, if you're coming from a camera phone or a point and shoot, you're going to notice the difference. It's the same size sensor you get in your 70D and your 80D. This is a 70D here, and here's your Canon M50. Big difference in size. Same size sensor. The dual pixel autofocus is really good with either video or photos. Really cool about this one is the new lenses, these EFM lenses. They're purposely built small to match the body size of this tiny camera. They're good quality. They also are normally cheaper than some EF and EFS lenses that I've seen. The prime lenses are really nice. I have a few that I love, the 22mm f2 and the 2.8 3.5 macro. Another cool thing about this camera is it's designed with the ability to adapt the EFS lenses. Third-party adapters are cheap, they work well, and then there's these things called speed boosters, which are amazing. I love them. So a final thing I love about this camera is the Canon Connect. I know it's such a small thing, but it connects so easily to your phone. It uses Bluetooth plus Wi-Fi, which creates an instant connection. You download the images right there. Instead of going back to your hotel and download them, you can instantly send them to people or put them on Facebook. And because it doesn't have GPS built in, it can use your phone GPS, although that does drain the battery. We'll get into the battery later. Another cool feature about the camera is it has time lapse. The good thing is it's built in. The bad news is it only has video. You can't actually take the individual images. And the 4K time lapse is cropped. So some of the extra things that I like about it is the scene modes are really cool. They're a novelty. If you're an experienced shooter, you're like, you may not like it, but they're actually kind of fun. Unfortunately, that's the only way you can get to your HDR and your silent mode. But nothing is all good. Here are some bads. The battery life sucks, but they're small and cheap. Grab a bunch, throw them in your pocket, make sure that you charge them up, and you're good. I'll point to some batteries and chargers that I love. You also don't have the ability to charge battery in camera. Come on, the A6300 does it, Canon. There's not a lot of lens options. Now, you can adapt with the speed boosters and your adapters, but then you lose the compactness of the camera, and that's one of the cool things about it. I love to see like an 18, a 30, 135, or maybe even a 24 to 105. That'd be awesome. I'm not particularly happy about the grain structure. when you're shooting this thing, make sure you nail the light. I think sometimes the JPEGs look better than the RAW files. I'm not big on video features, but I have to mention them. The 4K is cropped and there's no dual pixel autofocus when you're using 4K. Some of the specialty modes lock away some of the easy things such as silent shooting and HDR. And when you're in those specialty modes, you can't make a lot of changes that you want to. I just want to have silent shooting in aperture priority or shutter priority. Who's this camera for? This camera is great if you're already in a Canon system and you want to have a small travel camera. Or if you're looking for an inexpensive camera combo that's easy to use and easy to learn. Or if you just want a small camera that's a mirrorless camera, but it feels like a lot like a DSLR. It's not perfect, but it's close. If 4K is high on your list, this may not be the camera for you. So overall, this is a great camera and a great camera system. Over the next videos, we're going to get into some specifics on how to get the most out of your M50. We'll get into gear, we'll get into settings, and use cases for this guy. Until then, late.